Facebook post about our company party, but then I also had a paragraph in there about how, like, it sucked that the comedy show was such a freaking bust, right?
Yeah.
And I went on to say, like, you know, who the hell lines up this many extreme agenda pushing comedians in a row? Like, when you go to a comedy show, you're going to have the stereotypical, like, extremely gay guy, but balance it out with, like, the stereotypical extremely straight guy, like 40-year-old virgin kind of straight. You know what I mean? Like, this guy was awkwardly gay. And I don't want to say like he was awkward. I'm saying he's so flamboyant. He's on that far end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
And you need that in, like, you want the extremes in comedy, right?
Usually when you go to a comedy show, it's like, it's not really extremes, but there's like, if there's 3 or 4 acts, they're all different.
Yeah.
Like it's just different.
Yeah.
You get different perspectives.
Right. And so, like, throw some diversity in there and just bounce it all over the place, right? Like, maybe somebody in the crowd doesn't like the extremely gay guy, but they would appreciate the extremely straight guy. Maybe somebody in the crowd doesn't like the female, but they would like the male, right? Maybe somebody doesn't like the really skinny guy, but they would like the obese guy. And the reason I'm saying skinny and obese is because a lot lot of times, like, the obese guy is going to, right, like Ralphie May, he's going to make jokes about his obesity.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
He's going to talk about, like, getting into a shower and you got to make like an aqueduct with your arm to get your back wet because you can't get the water back there, you know, whatever, right?
Yeah, he's funny, dude.
And so I did not say anything like against those groups. I basically just said the whole show was an LTGBQ plus like thing, right? And had we known that, we wouldn't have signed up for it. Well, I did tag the comedy company in the group.
That's what got you.
Well, yeah, so they found it.
Yeah.
And then they started
crushing you.
Right. Trying. And so the guy who ran the show, who I'm assuming picked the lineup,
of course.
He shared my post, and then here comes all the lies, right? These guys show up an hour late. They were obnoxious. We had to tell the guy that posted this, we had to tell him multiple times to quiet down and shut up. They never had to tell me any, like, our whole group was quiet. We were respectful, right?
Yeah.
We left quiet. We tried to leave quietly. We did leave quietly. And then whenever they didn't like that we were leaving quietly, they created the issue, right?
Also, when you have such a late start time, like 8:30, I mean, showing up at 9:30, 9:45, even if, you know what I'm saying, it just like that's...
Yeah.
It'd be different if it was like 8 a.m. show time, like show up on time, but if it's anything that's past like 8 or 9.
And the thing is, like, comedy shows are kind of that way.
Yeah.
It's a series of comedians.
There's always people coming and going. It's not like a show.
Well, and they got a bar up top.
Yeah.
Like, people are leaving to go get drinks and coming back. Like,
yeah, that's different.
Yeah. And when we, yes, we did show up late. So we quietly slipped in the back. We waited for a change in comedians before we went down and got our seats, right? Like, we didn't just walk in the middle of a set and go walking into the middle of the seats, right? We were literally as respectful as we could have been. And so, but here's the thing, like what you were talking about with those groups is when you have those extreme ideologies, you can't disagree with a single thing they do without them taking it to the hate side of things.
Well, not
right?
just the hate side of things. They will literally, other than coming face to face with you, because let's be honest, most of them groups are chicken shit and they won't do that. Right. Like, other than coming face to face with you, they will do everything in their quote unquote power to burn your bridge down. Yeah. You know?
And so, you know, he basically alerted the troops that somebody disagreed with the show.
Yeah.
And so then here comes everything getting taken out of context, right? In my original post, I had since edited my post. Now, I did not edit my post because of this. I edited my post. Well, let me backtrack. There was a line in my original post that said, like, learn to balance the show out. If you have an extremely gay comedian, balance it out with an extremely straight one, right? This has nothing to do with being for or against extremely gay or extremely straight. This is like, I'm passionate about creating a good customer experience. They fucking failed at that royally, right? Like, learn to balance the show out so you can appeal to anybody in the audience. And that's where I was going with it. But they take that out of context. And what does extremely gay mean? You have a problem with people that are extremely gay? Like, how do you, what's the degrees of gay? And, you know, all this shit. And so, then,
Got to be careful, man.
Here come all the comments on my Facebook post. And so I started having to like block people and ban people and everything else. Well, then they resort to any tactics that they can, right? So here they start making a whole bunch of short form video clips and trying to put me on blast, and they're tagging me on all my socials and everything else. And then they throw out a couple of short form videos where they had done enough research to find my Instagram and find my Facebook and find my post where I talked about the Christmas party. And they throw in all their lies on top of it about being unruly and having to be told to be quiet and everything else.
Yeah.
And they do the thing, like, I don't know what you call this. Austin may know what you call it, where they're creating a short form video and their backdrop, like the backdrop is my Facebook post. And then their head is like cropped in over my post, kind of like a green screen. Where the backdrop's my Facebook post, right? And so the trans comedian, like, again, I never said anything against trans. I just said it was extremely like agenda pushing, right? And that's factual because you're literally campaigning that you're helping pay for my surgery, whether you agree with it or not. That's propaganda, right? And so she puts my Facebook post, she, I don't fucking know, but they put my Facebook post on the backdrop of the screen, and then they put their head in front of it so you can't read it. Well, then they proceed to tell what the post says.
Yeah.
And what they're telling is nothing of what the post says, right?
Yeah.
And so they conveniently try to make it look like they're telling you what's the words behind their head when and it's nothing of the words behind their head.
Yeah.
And so then somebody else gets wind of it. This person, the trans person has no following whatsoever. And I mean, they have like, I'm not shitting you, they have like 34 subscribers on YouTube and like 300 followers on their social. But the word got out to another comedian that was not there that night, but they have a giant following, hundreds of thousands of people. And so
they're probably funny.
Maybe, I don't know. But they took a whole bunch of selective screenshots and cropped them all together and made a short form video. And in those, like, she's talking, her short form video, as I did some digging, here's his Facebook screenshot. Here's his Instagram screenshot. Like, putting my Instagram handle on there and everything else. Here's his Google business profile page with his address and his phone number. I suggest you go leave them bad reviews. Do with this information what you will, right?
I love that they think that caveat makes it okay.
Yeah. So, like, for one, that's illegal.
Yeah, it is.
You're not allowed to share other people's private information on media, not just social media, media in general, right? So if I did care as much, I could easily sick an attorney on them. Like, absolutely easily.
Can I get a cut?
Slam dunk case, right?
Dude, I got cash.
So
Let's get it.
I spent most of my day Sunday managing and deleting comments and deleting, blocking people and everything else. And I ended up editing my post, and I did not edit my post because of this backlash. I didn't edit the post at all because of that. I have a code of ethics that I follow internally on my social media, and I realized I violated my own code of ethics on that. And I violated my own code of ethics for two reasons. One reason was I try to remain positive and uplifting, but I'm also all about holding people accountable in a positive way, right? Sometimes you have to talk about negative shit in order to prove a positive point, right?
Yeah.
And so that was borderline. Like, there was I was just basically saying this show freaking sucked. I was complaining without offering the solution I did offer was balance it out, right? Suggesting that they balance the show out. But the other way that I violated my own code of ethics was my post was supposed to be kind of a celebration post about our company's Christmas party. And the longest paragraph in my post had to do with the worst part of the night. And that goes all along with complaining and everything else, which I don't like to do on social media. So I edited the post to remove the long paragraph out of it and everything else. Well, again, that community will find any angle they can to try to get you, right? And so I edited the post because it violated my own code of ethics. Now they're like, oh, now he's edited in post. He's hiding something. He's covering something up, right? And so they're campaigning for all of these strangers to come and attack me on social media. And I spent all day Sunday. Austin has access to our business social media because he's our videographer and photographer guy, right? So he's putting pictures and stuff on there. He had to turn off the notifications because it was all fucking day long.
You hazard pay for that?
And it went all into the evening.
I'm not gonna do that. Like, you know.
So, but it was literally every 5 minutes I was having to check in, delete posts, ban users, delete posts, delete comments, ban users. And that
takes a lot of effort.
Well, then they went to my network because we recently were nominated for Business of the Year in Blue Springs. And so my business has been tagged a few times on some other posts. So now they're branching out to all these other posts and commenting on their shit, saying like, do you realize this transphobe guy, Mitch, is, hating against gays and, all that? And like, no, never once was any of that done, right? So then about Sunday afternoon, here come the 1-star reviews. And they're trying to tank our business Google review rating. And it's because of all the videos that are out there. And so we got like 25 1-star reviews on Sunday. And thankfully, some of these people that are leaving these reviews are just fucking idiots, and they don't know how to damage a business. And
they never ran one.
Let's not set up a challenge.
No, I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
Some of these reviews were like just fucking disgusting. And it was so disgusting, like I can report it and Google would remove it in a matter of minutes.
Yeah.
Right?
You're like, dude, you can't boop.
Yeah. And so we got a lot of the reviews removed. We still have a few that we're still working through. But ultimately, the big, long moral of the story is if you are prominent on social media, you need to be a little careful with that particular section because I don't want to even say like they don't fight fair. They
don't fight fair.
They absolutely don't fight fair, but they don't fight to win. They fight to try to make you succumb to their opinion, right? And they do not, for as much as they preach about diversity and inclusion, they don't care what you think. And if a straight white 40-year-old male business owner disagrees with anything they're involved in, well, now that business owner is immediately labeled transphobic and homophobic and bigotry and
even if he's a gay guy. Yeah, they crush him.
Right.